God. Okay, so tell me what they've outlined here.
Okay, so I've got a number of demands here that the youth have put forward, and they've read them to us. And on face value, they make a lot of sense. What they're saying is they want frontline communities to be actively engaged and front and center in the conversations. You can hear there's a strong sense of urgency that this generation has around climate action, and I certainly embrace that urgency. You've heard them say they want us to declare a climate emergency and take it seriously. We're prepared to do that. We're prepared to take steps, very specific action steps, to acknowledge that urgency.
How do you, moving forward, logistically, how do you incorporate their voices, Pacific Islanders and Indigenous communities, in these conversations in Portland?
Well, we already have a youth advisory council, and we're already reaching out to different groups that are interested in participating. And I feel that this is something the Portland community is coalescing around in a very positive and very deliberate way. The actions that you're going to hear me talk about at the press conference next week, the information that we're going to provide in terms of new initiatives at the City Club event next Friday, we're moving fast on this, and we're excited about it.
Do you view it as urgent as they do?
I'm sorry?
Do you view climate change as urgent as they do?
Extremely urgently. Look, the science is telling us that things are getting worse. They're not getting better, and we are very close to that tipping point, and there's a lot of things that we can do right now to protect our climate, protect our environment, and it's something that's a very high priority for me and my administration, and I believe all my colleagues on the Portland City Council. And frankly, if you look around, you can see this is a priority for the community. This is a top priority, and it's something that requires more than talk. It requires action, and that's what I plan to deliver, is action. That's what we are doing, and that's what we'll continue to do.
When you see students rallying around this, I mean, how does it make you feel to see this?
It makes me feel great. Students are becoming more activists. They're taking greater control of their lives. They're taking greater control of their own future, and they're doing it through their own voice. They're not parroting what they're hearing from adults. They are leading this movement. They are pushing adults and saying, look, we're talking about issues that require some sacrifice today, but if you're not willing to take those steps, if you're not willing to make those sacrifices, this could jeopardize future generations. And so I think it's great that they're stepping up on this and other issues. There's a new day in America, and you're seeing all across the nation on a whole host of issues, certainly climate action being front and center, but on a whole host of issues, you're seeing this new vitality amongst young people to have a real voice in the decisions that are being made about the future. And I think it's great. It's only positive.
They plan to hold you accountable. They said allyship isn't just standing in solidarity and saying that you're going to do something.
It's symbiotic. Look, they do hold me accountable, and they will be back, and they do list very specific demands. And then in a sense, I reach out to them and I say, okay, you're going to work with me, we're going to hear your voice, we're going to hear your ideas, let's work on it together. And that's the way things get done. We're working together as a community, and young people have earned that seat at the table to help shape their own future. And I think it's great. It's a healthy thing.
What do you think about momentum of this is, I think, the second climate strike this school year, I think the third this year. What do you think of that momentum that they keep happening?
I think it underscores the urgency that young people feel on this issue. I hear it from my own daughter. She's 13. I hear it from other young people. And when they look at the science and they think about their time on this planet, and they think about the future, they know that the steps that are going to impact their future need to be taken today. They can't wait till they're adults. They need us to engage now in order to stop some of the climate problems that we're seeing all across the planet, the pollution issues and the degradation of the environment. And there has been no louder voice on this issue of climate change than young people. And I think we should heed what they are telling us.
What do you say with the absence of Commissioner Nick Fitt not being here?
I don't speak for my fellow commissioners. We have a commission form of government. There are 5 CEOs in our form of government. I speak for myself, and I hold myself accountable. From my own perspective, it was very important for me to be here to hear what these young people are saying and what they're asking for. And I had no idea what they were going to ask for before I got here. As I listened to them, it was obvious to me that these are well thought out concerns, well thought out demands, well thought out action steps, and I actually am excited about working with them to deliver on these goals. I think they're appropriate goals, they're important goals, and I support them.
You said you had concrete steps in mind. Is there any details that you can give us?
Well,
besides what's happening?
sure. We brought back the fossil fuel ordinance. We brought the single plastics ordinance. We denied the Zenith permit. We're working with TriMet and others on the youth pass issue that continues to be a persistent problem in our community. And there's other things that we're working on as well that I want to talk about at the City Club next week. But yeah, this isn't about speeches. This is about action.
And the Pacific Islander community is pretty big in
Oh
the
yes.
metro area.
Yeah.
So seeing them here today.
They led this, and when they came to my office a week or two ago and said that they wanted to do this, that they wanted to put the Pacific Islander community front and center, that they wanted to put immigrants front and center, and I was really impressed, and I think it's absolutely right. There is no question that these frontline communities, these historically neglected or ignored communities, have suffered the most from environmental degradation and climate. Think about where the Pacific Islands are, where Pacific Islanders come from, and what global climate change means for the places from their ancestral lands. Think what it means. They're at risk of being destroyed, potentially in our lifetime, or certainly in their lifetime.
Mayor Wheeler, what would you say to school administrators who are reprimanding their students for walking out?
I don't speak for school administrators, but here's what I've heard from the more enlightened school administrators. Climate is a central focus of the science programs in our public schools. And I don't believe science is just for the purpose of understanding. I think science is for the purpose of understanding and then taking steps to react to what you see that science leading you towards reacting to. And the science is very clear that our planet is warming, that the environment is destabilizing under climate change, and that the damage could be potentially irreversible. This is not theoretical. This is something where there is a great deal of consensus in the scientific community. So I don't think we can ask kids, on one hand, study the science and follow that science and the facts and the information to their logical conclusion. But when you get to that logical conclusion, if it's an ugly one, we don't want you to do anything about it. Education isn't just for the purpose of education. Education is for the purpose of enlightenment. And enlightenment means you follow the facts to their logical conclusion. And if the logical conclusion is degradation of the environment or the loss of the planet or our inability for society to survive, then I think it's incumbent upon all of us to take steps to change that.